Hey everybody, so you just saw in the previous part of the video, the Banshee is done. Now obviously my Banshee in the background is now in a different mode, which is the mode it's going to be in when I finish it up. The reason it's in that mode is very specific. At the announcement of the Banshee, they said it could do a Norn mode. Now back in 2020, I built my own custom SDCS Banshee Norn. And I wanted to compare the two. I wanted to see how they look compared to each other, to see, if I got it close, where I was wrong, where I was right. I was really curious about it. So when they announced it, I was super hyped already, because I'm a huge fan of the Banshee. Within the Universal Century timeline, it is probably my favorite Gundam. So much to the fact that I'm willing to overlook the few flaws it has, no matter what the build is. Now, that being said, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the pilots were amazing too. What was his name? Riddy? Yeah, Ensign Riddy. Ensign Riddy had a great story arc, great character development, and Miss Marita was. If I was ever gonna have an anime crush, I know who it'd be. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so I absolutely love the Banshee and I love the pilots, and I really wanted to make sure that I did the Banshee justice back when I did my kit bash. So I definitely wanted to see how it compared to Bandai's official version. And to be honest, it's a hell of a comparison. I did all four sides, I compared the weapons and everything, and my Banshee's actually back there on the shelf again, with this one here ready to go for its next bit, which is a lot of painting actually, like a lot of painting, because I'm redoing a lot of that gold. That's besides the point. I am a little bit rambly here, so we're going to jump into the video because I want you guys to see what I was talking about in the video. And I do give a small, like kind of half-butted review near the end of the video, so there's that too. But yeah, let's jump into this.
Okay guys, so for this comparison, we're going to have the new Banshee Norn, the SDCS Banshee Norn they came out with over here, and we're going to have my custom one over here. Now, first thing I want to point out is color differences. There's a massive color difference. Now, I'm not paying too much attention to the gold because for obvious reasons the gold would be different. The darker parts are massively different. Mine is definitely a much more dark version than theirs is. Like, they definitely have more of the blue in there. On top of that, I went with black for the feet because I felt like that was the right color. Turns out it's just a really dark blue. So yeah, I was massively wrong there. So, not really surprised. This is back when I really wasn't too good at color matching. I'm a little bit better now, so that's a good thing considering I still have to paint this one once I convert it over. But let's go on to the next thing. Let's just, kind of start from the back and work our way around, because I feel like that's going to be the easiest area to work from. So, in terms of the backpack, not too big a difference in terms of layout. Like, obviously, obviously, this one's a lot bigger than this one is. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that this one, the backpack, these fins on it, these things, came from a BB series. So, that's not going to lend too well to the large size. But for the most part, the general form is right. It all holds up pretty good there. And since they were both unicorn bases from the SDCS line, that holds very well. I'm about to drop it. Okay, so let's go to the side profile and compare them. Start with the weapons. So obviously I went for a much lighter color on the canister than what they did, and that's going to be something I'll have to correct when I go to paint this canister. If I go to paint this canister, I'll have to make sure I correct all that, because I mean I'm converting it over to the regular Banshee, so it shouldn't be an issue. In terms of the shoulders, everything looks fine. The helmet's where you start to notice the difference. Well, it's definitely where you notice the difference, because this one has a thinner horn than this one does. This one's horn's a little bit thicker. Once again, because this one came off the BB series, and I had to create these fins on the back of the helmet so their fins, have more depth and dimension, whereas mine are just kind of plain Jane and glued on. You can tell it when you look at it, but you really have to look at it. Now, from the front, obviously my canister does look different in the front. It's because I drilled out these holes, whereas theirs are still pretty solid, and I don't think they can really be drilled out. Although I do plan to look into it some more. Looking at the main body on the front, the visual profile for the eyes, pretty darn close. My lower part of the horn here is definitely set a lot lower than theirs is, but I mean, not too terrible overall. In terms of the chest, where the three little prongs are here, it's a pretty good match. Like, if you look at it, they're close. Like, I didn't do too bad of a job there. So, you know, very happy with that. Now let's go around to this last side. And we're looking at the shield. Now, the shield was definitely a recycled version of the Phoenix shield. And it shows, because the one I used to make this shield was a Phoenix shield. So, yeah, it definitely shows there. A lot, actually. Going back to the forward view for a moment, I want to point out one more thing. Whereas these things on the backpack are held on by the beam sabers here, these ones on this one are not. They actually mount directly down into the backpack. Thus making them, you know, not mounted in the same fashion. Overall, though, you know, it's very close. They're a very close match in things. It's just the minor things that are different, and I can live with that. I can definitely live with keeping a good feeling about the custom job I did, considering that when I did this one, it was 2020, and here we are in 2023, and they finally came out with their own. It feels a bit overdue, but considering it came with the option parts back here, yeah, I think it's great. For anyone who's wondering, by the way, and I'm going to show you guys real quick before I let you go. You turd. This piece here is designed to mount onto the backpack, like so. And when it does, you can put your shield on this peg. Oops, sorry. When it does, you can put your shield on this peg, and that way it will hold the shield on his back. Now, that's for when he's in this mode. For anyone who's wanting to see how he converts over, it's actually pretty simple. So we take our shield off, we take our first fin off, take our other fin off, and we ditch the rifle, because none of that is necessary for the Norn, or for the Banshee, I mean. That's all Norn equipment. Now, this is the first piece that we have to attach, and that is for the arm cannon thing. And it honestly just kind of flips around like that, and boom, there you go. I mean, it's pretty basic. It just flips back when you're done with it. Now, this one here, same kind of thing. It just attaches here, and then there you go. You have access to the claw hand that it uses, which is really cool. And this is actually the form I plan to keep it in. I gotta figure out coloring. Coloring is gonna be the main issue for me next. Figuring out the golds and whatnot. Because I do plan to redo all of this in here, because I do not like the way it looks, especially with that dark background behind it. I just don't feel like it's right. So it's definitely going to be getting redone in gold, real gold, because I'm not going to do it in the awakened mode like my Banshee was. I'm going to keep it in its regular NTD mode, and I'm going to do up these eyes better and whatnot. But yeah, honestly, this is a great build. I love it. It does have a sticker sheet. Where is it? Well, that's 2 sticker sheets. It has this one and this one. So, you know, 2 sticker sheets, not terrible overall. But obviously, even with the stickers, it would still need a lot of painting if you wanted to make it like anime accurate or whatever. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It feels very solid. Like it's a good kit even with the add-ons, which actually keep it more balanced, I think, in some ways. But yeah, it's definitely worth picking up if you haven't yet. In case anyone was wondering, that's where the sticker eyes go, so that you can just swap them around. Pretty easy to do. But I really like it. I like it a lot.